In this chapter, we're going to begin to look at how we solve systems of equations. What systems of equations are basically a list of two or more equations that we need to solve. There is going to be one x, y coordinate point, one combination of x and y, which will be what's called the solution, which will work in either equation I plug it into. One of the most simple ways of solving a system of equation, depending on how the graph is or the equation is set up, is by graphing, which is what we were doing sort of with the last chapter. In this particular, we're going to look at linear equations, graphs where we're dealing with straight lines. The key point for solving systems of equations by graphing, by drawing the picture, is to look for what's called the intersection. Basically, it's where they cross. Okay. So basically, what I'm going to be looking at doing is drawing either of the lines, both of the lines. In this case, I started with the y equals 3x minus 2. So I started with my y-intercept of negative 2. I took my slope of 3, which was up 3 to the right 1, up 3 to the right 1, and then I got this line graphed in the red. Then I looked at the second equation, y equals negative x plus 2. So I started at positive 2, went down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, and then I got the blue line. So if I look at this equation, or look at these equations, and say, well, where do they cross? It's going to be here at this point. So they will cross at the point 1, 1. This is going to be what's called your solution. It's when x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1. And I can check my equation by plugging them both into both equations. So I can start with the y is equal to 3x minus 2. So in this case, does 1 equal 3 times 1 minus 2? So this is going to be my y, this is going to be my x. So does 1 equal 3 minus 2? Yeah, 1 equals 1. So this checks. I can't rely off just the one equation though. It has to work in both equations. So I look at the y is equal to negative x plus 2. I plug 1 in for y, plug 1 in for x. So in this case, negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1, so this checks as well, which means that this is my solution. So what we will work on doing in class, as we already did today, is there is a free calculator. There's many of them that are out there. Okay, same thing like there's many online websites that work. For an iPhone or an iPod or an iPad, probably the best one that I like is something called FreeGraCalc. And we're going to go through in class how to go through finding the intersections of lines. So on your test or quiz, when I ask you to solve by graphing, I'm actually going to let you use this app. So it'd be a good thing to be familiar with. If you do not have any of the iPads or iPods or iPhones, if you don't have anything, I can also provide an online website as well. But I think we're going to work with a lot of graphs of different things. Okay. By the way, this will also hold true for more complicated graphs. So for example, if I gave you something looking like this, and then I showed you a graph looking something like this, and said find the solutions, those two solutions, one would be right here, one would be right here. You would figure out what the xy at both of these are, and you have the solutions. So this would be something that you would cover more in high school, like in Algebra 2 or Pre-Calc. But it's the same principle. You're looking for where do the lines cross, and what is that point at which they cross. So that's what we're going to be working on.